Joining us for the Soul Spring Clean. I am just over the moon to be joined by my dear soul sister, Derica. Derica, how are you today?
I am doing so good. Thank you, Rose, for inviting me here. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm avoiding saying your last name because I actually don't know how to pronounce it. It's so exotic. Would you tell us?
It's Famacili is the easy
Oh,
way.
Pharmacili. What's the
Yeah.
harder way?
It's Faamasuli.
Oh, wow. Oh, beautiful. Whereabouts is that from?
My husband is Samoan, so it's a Samoan last name.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Exotic and beautiful. And for everyone who is new to Derica, let me let you know a little bit about why I am so excited for her to be here today. Derica Fa'amasili is the founder of Wholesome Hypnotherapy and creator of Relax, Release, and Reprogram, which is a transformational hypnosis technology. Since 2011, she's taken her specialized mindset methods to people all over the world by helping them release limiting beliefs and reprogram their minds to manifest the happy and successful lives they desire. Derica is someone who has surpassed a life of great struggle and created a life full of happiness, abundance, and adventure with her soulmate and 5 kiddos. Oh my goodness, what a prospering family. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And I'm curious about this relax, release, and reprogram technology that you have. It sounds like it would be very beneficial with the mental weight that people are carrying in the last 2 years relative to your whole career in working in this field of mindset. Have there been any symptoms that have been more expressed than you normally see?
You know what? That's a really good question. And as I'm sitting here thinking about over the last 2 years, I would say every symptom has been exacerbated, right? So it's like times 10 of those folks that are dealing with their patterns of just stress, anxiety, depression, overwhelm, confusion, all the reasons why you would come see a hypnotherapist to rid certain things, cleanse certain things from your life, were like times 10 the last 2 years. And I believe because folks are really sitting with it now, whether they're in that isolation phase, as we know, they were sitting back at home with a different, less distractions from the external world, and they had to come inward, right? And be sitting with themselves in whatever space they were in. And you can't help but to reflect on what's happening to you, right? So that big moment of sitting back and reflecting of how your whole world of all the different routines and distractions and everything you knew shifted and changed in different ways, you now had to come in and come inward and think about what is going on, right? And when you're sitting there, not distracted, and you're sitting there in that space, it's like you're in with your fears. I see people facing the I call Goliaths. They're in the moment of like, well, I really wasn't happy out there. I was just kind of numbed out to what was happening in my world, right? Now I'm sitting here with the crap. And so I know, does anyone feel me right now? It feels like everything was just amplified in our lives. The sadness that we had became huge. The darkness we were sitting in became very real. It was all in the moment. So that's what and there's a double-edged sword to this, Rose. And everyone hear this, because even though it was a big dark moment, and we're still in the transition of this dark moment, there's beauty in sitting with our crap that we get to cleanse out. Right? There is so much beauty and opportunity when we are sitting in what we don't want, because now we know what we do want. Right? There's that big pivot moment that could happen. And I think that's where I seen my clients go of like, enough is enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired with these same grungies, with these same patterns, with all this historical crap that I've been dealing with that's now in my face. Like, I don't want this. I want this. And I would see beautiful ideas and dreams and goals come to my community that's like, yes, if it wasn't for this damn pandemic, none of that would have happened to us. And I see this in the collective. It's not just a few, it's all of us are sitting here with that, like, enough is enough, right? So beautiful birthings are coming from this, but it is not easy. Not easy.
It sounds like you have, through all of this, like you said, the sadness is so immense, right? And the darkness is so dark, right? But your reflection is so positive, because what I heard you say is that by identifying what a person doesn't want, what we don't want, that's how we're actually able to figure out what we do want, right? How many people, even listening now, I ask you what you want, and you can't find the words because you're not clear on what that is, right? But you're actually able to find you know what you don't want, and that is sometimes a great guidepost for figuring out what you do want, right?
Absolutely. I figure, like, everyone listening right now, those biggest, most trials in your life, those times where you are in the depths of despair, right? You're on the floor crying sometimes in fetal position. Like, in those moments, like, you have to get that freaking low where there's no more bottom to go but up, right? And I feel like that's that point right there. So it sucks, but yes, you're absolutely right, Rose. This gave us all of that opportunity to sit with those doubts and fears and just negativities in our world, in our being, that we say, I don't want you anymore. I see you so clear. You're so loud and it's so painful. It's time to let you go, because I want that happiness. I want that lover. I want that abundance. I want that cleanliness of my life that's free and positive and happy, because I know what this is like and I don't want it, right? So powerful. I mean, these moments rev me up, Rose. You guys may think that's weird, but when I find myself, they're rare and in between now, but when I find myself in those challenges, I know I'm going to be birthing something really big because of this.
Right.
Right.
Right. Absolutely. I think we get to a point where it becomes a gold mine, when we've taken, like, to be honest, like, the shit we've been through, and when we've been able to, like, polish it off and find the diamond, and realize, oh my goodness, like, what beauty came through that hardship, we're actually able to start looking at these challenging moments and actually see them as a gold mine, like an absolute treasure trove of, like, okay, let me, like, scrape all of this mud away, because I know underneath here is the like, through the pressure of the carbon is now a diamond,
Yes.
through those moments of intense pressure. So you've described some of the mental symptoms here of people feeling overwhelmed, right? And, and people being in this immense sadness and immense, of course, people experiencing grief, people experiencing this incredible darkness, which can show up like depression, symptoms of depression, things like that. What is the way through that you see where people can actually point this compass towards what it is they want? What is your greatest teaching at the moment that you've used both for yourself and for your successful clients that are coming out the other side like a butterfly from the chrysalis?
I love this metamorphosis talk. This is what I'm so passionate about, because I remember as a little girl thinking about this question. Like, I was born and raised to a single mother on welfare. She had 4 kids. So we were raised in great poverty, right? There was scarcity everywhere, hardships, struggles everywhere. And even amongst that community that I was raised in, everybody could be cut from the same cloth, even sometimes in the same family, has the same education, the same resources, right? But all are creating different realities amongst this same world. And I used to think, how is that possible? What is it? Why can even you that are watching it, and Rose, you think about your family, and all of us turn out differently, right? I have 4 siblings. All of us were homeless at the same time. All of us had the same struggles, the same mom, right? The same reality, but yet you look at each one of us and we're all very different. How is that? So after a long, hard journey of answering that question, like you just asked me right now, it's the thoughts, our mind, right? Our programs. You can go deeper and say our neural pathways, our belief systems. This is the only thing different between you and I, and you and I, and you and I, everyone. I mean, most billionaires out there came from scarcity, came from nothing, right? And there's a lot of people who came from nothing that still has nothing. But what is it, right? It's getting to the mindset. So once I knew that, Rose, and this is what I'm going to deliver on to everyone, because your time is so valuable and I want nothing more but for you to transform in this moment. You must get to your thoughts. You have to get to your thought patterns, which are your beliefs. And see, since you were born, and we're going to talk in this lifetime, not past or others, but in this lifetime, you have been programmed, brainwashed. I don't like using that word, but we're all brainwashed through the experience, through the media, through everything else that is being streamed to us constantly. And this becomes the data board. These become our thoughts, what we emit, we get. So if you want to cleanse out, you want to clear out, you want to declutter your mind, you have to declutter here. You've got to detoxify your thoughts. And this is why I'm so excited about being here with you, Rose, in this community, right? It's because if you look at our world of cleansing out the habits we don't want or the patterns we don't want anymore, if we want to shift the patterns and embody the ones we do want, right? If we want an entirely different reality, there's this pyramid, and the bottom is your mind. It's your thoughts, okay? There's other things, other beautiful energetic works you can do. But if you don't get to the root cause, my friends, you are not changing. There is no consistent change. There's relapse. There's you cleaning out your closet and coming back to a dirty one. There is no point, right? So getting to that. And so what would you do? You have to sit with yourself. You've got to be very present. And this can take over time. But you have to know, what am I thinking about? What am I literally believing? Because what we believe, we achieve. And if you're looking out and there's struggle, if you're looking out and there's just clutter everywhere in your life, there is just broken relationships, there's hardships everywhere you're looking, or in certain places, you're not having that success and happiness that you want in your life. Well, what the heck do I think about those situations, right? Am I thinking money doesn't grow on trees? Money is too difficult. I'm too ugly. I've got all these issues. I'm not lucky. What are you telling yourself? Because it's that, my friend, you must get to those negative thoughts. They're not yours. They're not real. You have to get rid of those. And I use hypnosis to do that. So know which freaking thoughts are cluttering your freaking world with things you don't want, with experiences you don't want, and then get rid of them. Get rid of them. Relax, release, reprogram. That's where it comes from.
Oh, okay. Who here is like on fire listening to Terica? I feel like it's like a sermon, and I'm like, my whole soul's like reverberating listening to you. Oh my goodness. So relax, release, reprogram. So I love that. Like relaxing, that makes sense to me. Like you need to be present. You need to
present.
In a safe space, but and releasing and then reprogramming. So when you say, when we talk about hypnotism, we think about maybe what springs to mind, and not for you, of course, but for like the person who is not well versed in hypnotherapy, we might be thinking about like the 1920s vaudeville acts and like the tricks and things like that.
Yeah.
So what actually is hypnotism and hypnotherapy? How is it able to rid, like you said, what you emit, you get? Like, how is it able to get rid of of those thoughts that are decluttering yourself? How are you actually able to detoxify those thoughts that are holding you back?
Love it.
And then how is it able to reprogram you?
Yes. So I love that one. You know, hypnosis, you're right. In the mainstream media, there's all this like quack like a duck. There's the big clock. There's the stage entertainment, which is awesome. But that is not what hypnotherapy is at all. Hypnotherapy is actually, it is so normal, Rose, and everyone listening, you guys go in and out. We all go in and out of hypnosis all day long. All day long. And we don't realize that we're slipping in and out of different trance states. There's so many different names for this, but as your brain, you could be imagining, daydreaming, in the zone, focused, napping. There's so many different trance states. What it is, hypnotherapy is guiding your brain to the theta brainwave state. Now you've heard of delta, but right, there's different states. Theta is where it's like when you're daydreaming, that's the kind of perfect space to be in, when you're just like off, just in your own world. You're not thinking about your surroundings. You're in the zone of what you're daydreaming about. And in that state, sometimes you can feel it, right? So it depends on how deeply relaxed you go, but sometimes you can literally feel what you're thinking about. Right? Your body temperature changes, you get excited or whatever, right? You're slipping into different trance states. Well, in the theta is where you go into this it's where you live between birth and about 8 years old. You were just open. You were open and the subconscious is open. And at that moment, there's really no discernment or filtering happening. It's whatever's happening is real. It's your reality. When you were a child, you had to do that to make sense of what you were looking at, right? So it was like you just lived in theta, which is beautiful and imagination. But now, as an adult, you and I, we have to go back and open the vault. We have to go and open the subconscious. Now, with the professional, I don't recommend you do this with just anyone or any YouTube video. Please don't. But when you're in that state, this is where you're actually able to disengage and refire neural pathways. These are circuits of your mind that you have access to when your brain is that relaxed. So say that you have one that life is hard and I'm not lucky. Whatever it is that we're struggling with right now, I'm not professional enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not good enough, smart enough. Whatever those brainwashed programs are, it's just a thought pattern. It's just a neural pathway. So that's why I say know what you're going to release first. So once you know that you're going to release that, I have a system of how we get and release those. And then the reprogram is just firing off a new neural pathway, a new belief that I am enough. But see, we're not going to cap it, leave the old one and then put a new one on. That's what a lot of people do. I'm not for that. It just wears off. So we got to get rid of the bad boy first, that life sucks or it's hard, whatever. Get rid of that and then put in the new neural pathway. So that's how hypnosis works. And you all, please don't think reprogramming is something that is scary, I would kind of say. It's just literally going back to Rose, who you were when you were born, or you who you're watching when you're born. When you were born, you knew you were good enough. You knew the world was a playground. You were curious. You had no insecurities, right? You were incomparable. You were powerful. You were charming. You were funny. Like everything that you want now, you're loving, even in a poopy diaper. You were so loving, like you didn't care what anyone thought, right? So it's just reprogramming. It's like growing a seed that you already have, if that makes sense. So no, it's not mind control is what I'm getting to, because that's a stereotype. It's literally just reawakening who you are, getting rid of the crap that you were told and experienced that's holding you down, and then reawakening you. Wow.
So it sounds, very natural in a way.
Extremely natural.
Yeah, it doesn't it doesn't feel like it's kind of like jamming a crowbar in,
Yeah.
It feels like you're kind of almost more remembering who you truly are.
Yes.
And
That's
it's almost
perfect.
like deprogramming yourself of what we've been brainwashed to believe. There is one last thing I'd love to touch on. I love that you've really focused on decluttering the mind, detoxifying the mind, the thoughts that are holding us back, and how those can be showing up as symptoms of overwhelm and symptoms of anxiety or depression, or all of these things that are keeping us in what I call survival mode. One of your expertise I was very curious about, because you mentioned about how, you know, a lot of people are also wanting to detoxify their body because of carrying excess weight. Now, I talk about the statistic, which is really shocking for health, that the average American in the last 2 years, and I'm talking young, like this is like under, I can't remember the exact statistic, but it's between like a teenager to like a 30-something-year-old. It's like has gained over 40 pounds in excess weight. Now, there's something psychologically there, right?
Yeah.
Right. Have you unpacked that? Have you come across that, worked with that? And how would one be able to look at the psychological aspect of perhaps holding on to a little excess fat storage? What could that possibly be about?
Yeah, absolutely. I love this one. So when you think of hypnotherapy, a lot of folks come to me for all sorts of addictions, right? A lot of times wanting to change habits, create different goals and dreams. Of course, weight is there. Weight is one of the top ones, right? And a lot of people start off with, it's because I'm addicted to the fast food, the sodas, the Snicker bars, all those kind of things, right? It's because I can't actually go get motivated enough to go to the gym. And while all of those things may be true, remember there's the pillar. So yeah, there's layers of things that pack on layers to us. There's all sorts of things. But if you don't get to this point here, and what I've noticed as a therapist of specializing in the mind is that to even get to the point of being overweight, there were things that you experienced and things that you have programmed yourself with that actually manifested the weight, manifested these activities, manifested these addictions and patterns in your life. So a lot of people are scrambling at the top. Oh, starve myself. Oh, just go to the gym and hurt myself. But all of that is so Band-Aid approach. It's a Band-Aid, because the point is that psychologically, it's because you have programs in your mind that you have to protect yourself from, rapists or molestation or being, bothered and flirted with. You have all these different programs that maybe look at everyone else in my family, they're overweight, so I'm going to be fat too. I eat this and it goes straight to my hips. I've heard of hundreds of different things that we begin to tell ourselves and have been told. And at some point it becomes a part of our belief system. So therefore, when we go eat it, it becomes it. It does go straight to our belly. It does go straight to our hips. I keep freaking losing all those gym memberships. I can't keep it up. It's because of the blueprint we have on our self-image. So I always start with healing that blueprint. Okay. So going back and actually figuring out what are you telling yourself? What has someone told you about yourself? Get down into the mindset, because if you think, oh gosh, I can eat like a bird and I still won't lose weight, and then you go eat like a bird, well, you're not going to lose the weight, right? Because you're going to materialize whatever is your emit you get. So that's why you see yo-yo effects constantly in life. And it's so sad, right?
I talk about that actually through my detox. By the end of the detox, it's like purge those clothes that have you in that identity. Because it's actually, if you're keeping those clothes, you identify that you fit into those clothes. So you will fit into those clothes if you believe it,
Yeah.
So a great thing to do is to actually, identify with your new self rather than your former self.
Exactly.
So
you have to.
Powerful. I know that for people listening, they're going to be thinking, okay, this is great. This is great. Okay, I want to do this. So how can people get a taste of actually doing a safe, not a YouTube, but like a safe hypnotherapy? Like, how can we open the vault safely? I know you have a beautiful offering, which is your Clear Your Negative Thoughts self-hypnosis audio.
Yeah.
How Janelle is dropping that link right now in all the comments in the chats. How will this help someone?
I love this. It's like having a hypnotherapy session with me in your pocket. Yeah, this is something you can download and listen to anywhere, anytime. And in this audio, and I chose this one when I thought specifically, I sat and I thought about the community here, Rose, and everyone that you have aboard here, and this whole clearing out your mind. Well, let's get the negativity out, right? So I've done this audio, and this is one of my most populars. I've had this audio, it's been like a top hit for almost 10 years. That's how powerful. It's helped thousands and thousands of souls help rid. I literally did it here in this office. I recorded it live. Someone who had so many different negative programming that we talked about here today, so many different things that were holding them back, just negative self-talk, sabotage that was going on, that's overwhelming thoughts that were of the negative vibe. So in that is where you get the audio. I actually took this person, we went through it all, relaxed, released all of that gunk, and then reprogrammed, which is like you say, deprogram. I love that word, deprogram that out of her mindset, and then just reawakened her back to, let's talk positive about ourselves. Let's love ourselves unconditionally again. Let's think positive of our surroundings and our world again. And this is one of the audios where you are going to not just see like instant effects, you're going to begin materializing and manifesting the life and the goals and the freedom that you're looking for, just getting to the root cause in 20 minutes. This is a 20-minute audio, and I couldn't think of any other better audio to give you all. I mean, it's well worth it. It's $14.95. Couple cups of coffee. Get the hypnotherapy session, right? Just download it now, listen to it, and as many times as you like, right? The first time you're going to feel it, but it's yours to own, to have for as long as you like.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. Just think about, like, you could just do it like weekly and just clear whatever's come up that week. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And be able to, go into the theta brainwave state, which is that just the most incredibly creative state, to be able to actually, reprogram your subconscious and actually then see the effects, like emit that, your natural inherent worth, and emit that into the world, and therefore receive it.
Instant.
Get it?
Yes. Emit and get. I love it. I love it. It's one that I'll even use still to this time, because you don't need to know exactly what is the exact thought right now. When you are in theta and you set the intention is set, and there's specific words and frequencies and beats. There's an energy that is set, that is releasing anything of a low vibe that's keeping you from where you're wanting to go. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, it's that spring clean of the mind, right? The spring clean of the mind, like, what's ready to go now? Let's just press play and get rid of it. No, wow. It's so powerful.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'm so excited that people get such an easy access point to come and do a hypnotherapy audio with you. Just incredible. If this has really spoken to you today, make sure you go and grab that, of course, that audio, and you'll get introduced to Derica and her work. And if you want to go and work with her, I think she may have some availability for new clients. I know you fill up often, and you can go even deeper. You can go as deep as you like and really change your reality. So Derica, thank you for being here with us today. I so appreciate your wisdom. I so appreciate your perspective. And I appreciate how you kind of demystify the whole idea of, the swinging clock, like you said, and actually explain the science behind it. Okay, we're accessing your theta brainwaves, and this is how we can actually transform your reality that you're existing. Thank you for being here today, Derica. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Rose. This has been incredible. So much fun. Thank you for everyone watching. Rose, you are a rock star in transformation. So you guys are in the greatest place for decluttering and detoxifying. Absolutely.
Thank you.